Okay, let us begin with the talk on the Monday, Thursday. What I've spoken about the solidity, the different types of solidity, in the sense of they are what we wrongly perceive in our life and throughout samsara is that we look at things more like everything is being united together, and from that, wrong concept, wrong cognition, wrong view arises. So when we go into Vipassana, we break down the so-called solidity and look into their components or their individual functions, individual essence, individual characteristics, then begin to see their true nature of things as they really are. With that, when we see those things, then this type of solidity, we do not have that idea that this have a self or a soul, that is as a control, and so on. So with that, it breaks down a lot of things, and then in a way that the different type of anatta begin to develop, become clearer to all of us. Also after that, I went back to the hold on, where is my file? We went back into let me see. Okay, hold on. Back to my this one. Share screen. Where is it? Okay. All right. All right. So we talk about the wrong perception. There's this perception of continuity, of mass, of function, of object. So altogether here is that we see things quite as united together, and then with that it creates all kinds of wrong perception and so on. Then after that we spoke about the three types of another three types of contemplation, which is contemplation of signless, desireless, and voidness. Animita, apanihita, sunya. Now here, sign means the conditional phenomena, formations. This is not the usual word that normally we associate with nimitta as just as the object of your samatha meditation, nimitta and so on. That's not the thing here. So here the signless contemplation or contemplation of the signless, animita anupassana, animita anupassana is the same as contemplation of impermanence. Whereas the number 12, contemplation of desirelessness, abandoned desire, this is unsatisfactoriness, this is under dukkha, and the 13, the voidness, is the same as non-self. But the thing is that because of these words, animita, apanihita, and sunya, there's also reoccur in what we call in the knowledge of equanimity of formations, and also in between towards the adaptation, knowledge of adaptation. Then with that, when the knowledge of equanimity begin to mature, this is where your arising and passing away will start to speed up, and they change into such a fast manner that depending on the yogi, whichever predominant that you are, whether you are faith predominant, concentration predominant, or wisdom predominant, you will see the nature of this arising and passing away, whether as signless, in the sense that you don't see any desire inside there. That all this arising and passing away just impermanent, so there's no desire. Doesn't mean that there's nothing, there's no sign, there's no formation, there's no sankhara. There are sankhara, but the sankhara of this mind and body of arising and passing away is such a fast manner that you don't see any desire that's connected with it. So any delight that you want to get connected with it. So it is called the signless liberation. Desirelessness means that you see the whole arising and passing away. Then the desirelessness here, those people who are having a great concentration, because this concentration will able to go when before that you can able to see a lot of dukkha, but this time when you see this arising and passing away, the mind does not attach to all these things. The mind just turning away from all this arising and passing away. So that's called desireless liberation. Void liberation, here we see this arising and passing away as empty, not in a sense of there's nothing inside there. There's nothing. There's no empty of nothing. There's a lot of sankhara arising and passing away in a very fast manner, but you do not see any control, or very chaotic, or there's no self inside there, there's no I inside there. It's just arising and passing away due to its own condition. So then you see it as void liberation or emptiness liberation. So this one is those people who are wisdom predominant. So any liberation will do. Whatever it comes, you take it. Don't go and choose what you want. So make sure you just whatever it comes. Nothing which not one is better than the other. It's just different only. Not one is better than the other. The most important is finally you get out from. Finally we realize nibbana. So now just to explain this a little bit more, this great way of liberation. Now we're going to move to the next slide, not this one. Stop share, and then I'm going to move on. This one I've shown you before in one of the during the Q&A session, and also in the past talks. I just want to bring it back again. For now, I stop sharing. Okay, go to my. Okay. Okay, yep. All right. Okay. Now, do you see the insight leading to emergence, right? Okay. Now, this one was last year I gave the talk on how when you are actually see Nibbana with the path consciousness and the friction consciousness, PA and the FR. Therefore, with the PA and FR, then there is called the path consciousness and friction consciousness, and that is knowledge of insight number 14 and 15. So this time the knowledge of the path and friction, they are only occur, path at least occur once only, Friction occur 2 times or 3 times depending on whether you are average mental faculty or keen mental faculty. So you see the pointer here, okay? You see number 12, 13, 14. Again, here this is 12 is the 12 insight knowledge, 13 insight knowledge, 14 and 15 insight knowledge. So again here, the 12 insight knowledge and 13 insight knowledge, they are just one consciousness only. It's not like knowledge of equanimity, which is number 11, and those things are repeated again and again and again and again. Whereas 12, 13, 14, 15 is just a stream of consciousness. So if you do not know what is this vibrating, arresting, doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. What not important for now. What is important? You reach the green color one. But since we were talking about just now about the triple liberation, right? And the knowledge of equanimity. Okay. Now let's say you see the VA here, all right? The VA. Now before this VA, it's where the speeding up of your insight of equanimity. Your insight of equanimity is being sped up over here in such a fast manner that when it matures, when your mind is ready, when your mind is able to let go of everything, then when it's truly mature, then this type of a stream of consciousness which is arising and passing away, and you're going to pass through this thing, and you're going to see Nibbana, the actual Nibbana, for the first time. So this is before the VA here. So before the VA here, this is how you notice the arising and passing away. Whether you notice it as signless, whether you notice it desireless, whether you notice as voidness. So everything of this one is happening before the VA. So before the VA, it's where all your, it's where how you perceive it. So when you reach when you realize Nibbana, so that name of the Nibbana is connected to how you watch the thing here. How you watch the thing here. So therefore, they call it the triple gateway of liberation. So use that one in order to reach liberation. So there's a different way of how we categorize. The text categorize the yogis or the bhikkhus or whoever is meditating. So this is just to give you an understanding, and all our enlightenment process. The first time the enlightenment process, you have to go through all these things. Then subsequently, after enlightenment, now after enlightenment, of course, when you come back to this insight leading to emergence again, you don't have the path consciousness anymore. It's called another name, Vachana, I think so. And then you have friction and friction. So you don't have path consciousness, because the nature of path consciousness, it only does one function: eradicate its respective latent defilements. It eradicate the respective latent defilements. That means, or the fetters, depending on how you want to look at it. So if you are in the first stage of enlightenment, that means the path consciousness will eradicate the fetter of Sakkaya Ditthi, the wrong view of personality or identity. Then you have the Silabhata Paramasa. Then you have that attachment to all these rites and rituals. And then the third one is the skeptical doubt, the Vicikicca. So the Vicikicca and that Sakkaya Ditthi, these two, you have to remove it before you go into anything further higher than that. So the wrong view has eradicated, Vicikicca also eradicated, the skeptical doubt is eradicated. Skeptical doubt here, it means that whether you believe or not, whether this vipassana can work or not, that's not the issue anymore. Whether you're able to see Nibbana or not, that's not the issue anymore, because you've seen it. Because you use this vipassana to reach to this one. And then after that, some time later, you go and hear people, no, my method is correct. No, my samatha is correct. No, only this is correct. still arguing and arguing and arguing because they're still doubtful. A lot of things. Anyway, doesn't matter. So what it matters is that that every time you go through to enter into realization of Nibbana, you have to go through all this thing. But now, some yogis, of course, can see one consciousness after another consciousness, perhaps. Some yogis is just a stream of consciousness, then Nibbana liao. It doesn't matter. As long as they're able to see Nibbana. So that is one, just to additional, because when we talk about the triple liberation, you must know what happened before it, and after that, what comes after that. Just to give you a clearer concept. All right. So we go back to the anupassana. So just remember about this Nibbana here, because afterwards a few of the contemplations, a few of the anupassana will also somewhat touch upon Nibbana, although it is not really a contemplation. Okay, so just remember here. So we're going to stop for this screen sharing. We go back to the other one. Okay. Okay. Now, all right, share the screen. 18 principle. Okay, sure. Okay, you're seeing the triple gateway of liberation, huh? All right, just to make sure it's the right slide, huh? Because sometimes what appear in front of my screen, and what you all see may be different. Okay, just to make sure. All right, so here is a triple gateway of liberation, and which is connected to, as I said, the word animitta, apanihita, and sunya. Because that during that time also, it's how you see whether it's going to be impermanent, whether it's dukkha, or whether it's anatta. All right. Okay, now let us go to the next one. Now, it becomes 0 already. It becomes 17 only. How come the first one becomes 0? Okay. Go back one again. Did it? Hey, 35. Oh no. Sorry. No 35, sir. Okay. It's just only this one. Here, yes. Define new Dhamma format. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. All right. One more time. One more time. Yes. Okay. This one will make it disappear. Okay. So 18. All right. Okay. So here we have. Where did it go? Okay. Okay. Well, let me refocus the thing. Now, here we have covered up on impermanence. In a way, also we covered a lot on dukkha and a lot of anatta. And also we covered on disenchantment and revulsion. The one that I bolded in Dukkha, fading away, dispassion, nirodha, cessation, relinquishment, destruction, fall, we have not gone through it yet. But they are still connected to anicca, dukkha, anatta. We talk about viparinama in the sense of impermanent and also in the sense of dukkha also. Then we have signless, apanihita, sunya. Okay. So we haven't covered number 14. insight into higher state. Okay. We also cover 15, which is the Yatta Bhutanyana Dasana, which is the first and the second insight. Knowledge of danger, which insight under Dukkha also, and also under 17 under reflection, we also cover upon it. Afterwards, we also cover upon this reflection again. So after that, we have this turning away, vivata. 18. So now, let us go to this one. So today's talk and Thursday talk also will be on this, the rest of the other things. And they are also interesting in the sense that they are connected to anicca, dukkha, anatta, but they have, again, a different modes of noticing them. All right. So let us go to which one? Number 5, fading away, dispassion, viraga. Overcoming or abandoning the word greed. The word greed here we just translate as raga. Okay, let's go to that one. And it's going to connect it, it's going to somewhat connected with number 4 also, nibbida also, delighting also, you see, delighting, nandi and raga. Okay, so we go to the next one. Okay. One who develops the contemplation of fading away, viraga, abandons greed. Because if the word viraga usually translate as dispassion, and then of course when you abandon passion. But sometimes it's a bit difficult to translate this word viraga. It's not just any form of passion and so on. Now here there's a word here called nandi and raga. And we see a lot of these things during in the sutta if you look into the Pali words. Now here, if you know about a little bit of your Abhidhamma, yes, then the word here, nandi here, the word hey, where do you go? Sorry, suddenly jump again. All right. Now here, nandi here, nandi, it's delighting versus greed. Now, if you know a bit of your Abhidhamma, as I said, under craving or under greed, then it's the craving without joy. Our craving with joy is nandi, and raga is craving without joy here. Especially when you are looking into the vipassana. I'm not sure whether how in other places, sometimes it may just interchange, But here, while we are looking into anupassana, the 18 principle insight, we need to look at it slightly differently. Although while you are practicing, you may not see the difference so much. Things are just passing through after all, whether craving with joy or without joy. With the word Pali word is piti, piti. And now we go back to this one a little bit. So disenchantment abandons delighting. One who contemplates on fading away abandons greed here. Now, they put the number 4 come first, then only number 5. In a way, it is also when you come into the meditation, as you develop, then the abandoning of the disenchantment first, nibbida, then only you have viraga. Okay? Now, let's talk about viraga a little bit now. Now here, when we are looking into viraga, this has 2 meanings here. This is destructional dispassion, which is the knowledge number 8. Insight number 8. And then you have number 2 here of viraga. You have complete dispassion. Then you have nibbana. Okay? Complete dispassion. Now, I don't want to go through all the Pali words, because it's quite confusing for many of you. Although I have it, but I don't need to go through all that, because after that, then it will be another two more, and then you also... Anyway, what is important here is that when we talk about Viraga Nupassana, or contemplation of fading away or dispassion, we are looking into the destructional dispassion. Okay? Now, for knowledge understanding, the word Nibbana as an object, we cannot do Anupassana on Nibbana. Okay? Okay, just make it very clear. Nibbana, there's no such thing as Anupassana. If there is Anupassana, that means there must be Anicca, Dukkha, and Anatta. Okay? Nibbana u Anicca bo. Bo then cannot lah. Udukkha bo. No. Anatta? Ula Anatta. Only anicca and dukkha, they don't have everything sabbe dhamma anatta, sabbe sankhara anicca, sabbe sankhara dukkha. So nibbana is included yeah. Anyway, although Nibbana has the quality, characteristic of of anatta, because it's not under control, there's no self, there's in a way it's unconditioned, but there's no self and so on. So Nibbana, it is a characteristic can be able to be known, but it does not follow sankhara. Sankhara, it's where you have mind and body, and mind and body, therefore, if you do vipassana on it, then it falls under anupassana. Right? Just like your satipatthana, you have kayanupassana, vedananupassana, otherwise, all of them are combined together, it's just mind and body, and you notice on them again and again. So viraga also, in the sense that the Nibbana also, in the sense that you cannot do that, but mundane knowledge of viraga, then yes, then it falls under contemplation of viraga. A later part, we're going to see cessation also, is going to be something the same. Now anyway, destructional dispassion. Now, the destructional dispassion, according to the text, it is the same as the eighth knowledge. Now, the eighth knowledge here of the insight, it also falls under dukkha. All right, falls under dukkha. For those who are mind very loose one, okay, here we go back here. Okay, mana. Okay, here number 8, knowledge of disenchantment falls under dukkha. Sorry. This enchantment here is This enchantment here, it's already in the nibbida. So it's at the number 8 and number 9 somewhere there. It's somewhere there is at the 8 and number 9. It is also touching on desire for deliverance also already. Dispassion. Now, you see the word disenchantment here, knowledge number 8. Then the knowledge of disenchantment here, while you are noting at those things, delighting, the word delighting here, then we go back to here again, disenchantment here. Now the word delighting here, when you are noting your object, you are noting on the object that in the previously you are having a lot of attachment and therefore the joy arises with it. Things like, for example, it may be your beauty, your body, your thoughts, your hearing, your eyes seeing, certain mental sense or certain touch sensations, and so on. In previously, without all this insight knowledge, then we delight in them, we get joy over them. Now, while you come into the knowledge of disenchantment, nibbida jnana, which is number 8, that one. So during that time, the mind, when it looks that everything is just arising and passing away and very oppressive in that sense, then the mind begin to know that the past, all this delighting and all those attachment, they are all just, the mind doesn't know, the mind is filled with ignorance. The mind doesn't know in a sense, and doesn't know in the sense that what is the truth. We keep on delighting into it. Then when the vipassana arises at the knowledge number 8, then that joy towards the things that we attached before, then it begin to let go. You begin to let go of it. You begin to not delight into those things, whether it's the mind or whether it's the body, otherwise the sankhara. So in that sense, during the knowledge of nibbida, these things happen according to the text, but usually in reality, yogis just pass through only. Everything just dukkha, everything just champo, everything dukkha. Whether this and that, still dukkha. It's not so easy for you to go and differentiate which dukkha and that dukkha. Kaum tim already, that time. But as I say, there's a slight different type of dukkha that's happening there. A slight thing is something that's going on during inside there. So when we come to the knowledge of, here I got to put 8, in between 8 and 9. 8 and 9, in between and 9. So in between 8 and 9, when the knowledge of disgust becomes mature, then when it comes to the knowledge of number 10, this is where the knowledge number 10 of the insight knowledge, which is the knowledge of reflection or reobservation. Now here the reflection or reobservation, although I put here dukkha, but what you are going through in this reflection or reobservation, you're going to see all the anicca, dukkha, anatta again that you have seen before. And right now, those things you have seen before, it becomes much more clearer, much more lucid to you, and much more, but therefore the dukkha also become more clearer, the dukkha even more stronger than before, clearer than before. And then we talk about the 3 different types of dukkha, or the viparinama dukkha, dukkha, and sankhata dukkha, sankhara dukkha. Then all this dukkha becomes manifested in such a strong degree. But also at the same time, you also see anicca and anatta. So because of that reflection or reobservation, reflection here again is not the thinking type of reflection. Again, it's not an easy word to translate. Reobservation also, you reobserve into the past, all your past insights again. Anyway, what happened here is because that when you already those things that you already gave up, you delight right now, when it comes into reflection and reobservation, because of the lucidity of the anicca, dukkha, anatta, and they are repeating again, right now, because you do not have all your craving is already in a way temporary abandoned. Delight is already temporary abandoned. But right now, what you are not attached to, or what you are giving up in a certain sense, you are giving up on all the formation that is happening. And that formation is just arising and passing away, and you have nothing for you to hold on to it, That when you look at all these things, because they are so strong, gross, and therefore the whole mind does not feel any form of delight into it. After all, this type of object of arising and passing away, initially also you don't have any delight at all already. But this time, you are giving up on it, you are not attaching on it at all. As the materiality itself or the mental itself, you are not attaching to it at all. Previously, you attach it because there was delight. Right now, everything is just happened. Even there's no delight, the mind also does not attach to it. Because therefore it goes deeper. So you see, a lot of abandoning is taking place while we are going through. Let me say this again. Before that, when we are looking at a lot of things in life and so on, we delight in that. It gives us pleasure, it gives us joy. So when it comes into nibbida, when it comes to the knowledge of disenchantment, then there's a lot of giving up on this type of attachment that comes with delight because of your previous connection. But as you go further up, since you already abandoned all those delight things, but right now is that the mind itself, the body itself, you don't even feel any attachment towards them. Not just only delight in the craving of joy and so on, but this one, there's no joy anymore. There's no sukha, or it's just arising and passing away. So this time also, you also go and attach to them, because all of them go through anicca, dukkha, and anatta repeatedly again and again and again. So the mind does not attach to them. So that's why it's called nandi, or call it raga in a sense. Craving without that type of joy. So it goes quite deep, So for those sometimes who want to understand the Abhidhamma, but if you don't understand how it actually happened in the mind and body, where it happens and so on, so sometimes the Hokkien say, you read one Abhidhamma is one thing, your knowledge is another thing. Everything cannot connect. Everything cannot connect. So there's a lot of things inside here. So here is the destructional dispassion, because it is give up on that craving without the attachment. So it's a kind of craving also, but this time craving without attachment, without that joy. Sorry. All right. Okay, now we go to the next one. Cessation. Also the same thing. Knowledge of deliverance. Okay, correct. Okay, correct. One who develops this is contemplation number 6. One who develops the contemplation of cessation, nirodha, abandons origination. The word origination is samudaya. You see the word cessation and origination, or the word Pali word is samudaya. Here, if you learn about your 4 noble truths, they are opposite of each other. Origination here is second noble truth. What we want to originate? You originate all the craving, Then the third noble truth is cessation. Then here, okay, one who develops the contemplation of cessation abandons origination. Now again here, the word cessation, there is 2 types of cessation. One is the destructional cessation. Here it comes at the maturity of desire for deliverance. Then you have complete cessation. Again, it is nibbana. But the word nibbana, again, as I said, we don't have to worry about nibbana, because when we do this contemplation of cessation, it is connected with the mundane part of it, not the supramundane part of it. So it's the same explanation. Now, cessation. This is also another. Yeah, did I read anything else? This is after that now, number 7. Never mind. So, destructional cessation. Let's talk about destructional cessation. Now, in this destructional cessation, what it means is that you do not see the arising and passing away of the phenomena. Okay, you do not see the arising and passing away of phenomena. But does not mean that it is Nibbana yet. Okay? It does not mean it is Nibbana yet. You only see, in other words, the arising and passing away stops. It stops. It stops for a while. A while means maybe a second or two, a while. There's sometimes when you go into the deeper insights, when your things become chaotic, or arising and passing away very fast, and suddenly stop. Then after stop. Stop. It come in many times. It come arising, passing away, changing here, and suddenly it stop for you. Then after it start again, it stop for you. And then start again. And it repeated a lot of times at this thing. Even then, sometimes it may not also, some yogis who are sharp enough, even at the early insight, maybe insight 1, insight 2, first insight, second and third insight, they may see a small degree of cessation that's happening already. It already happened, but it's not it does not repeat too many times. Not like when you come into the knowledge of desire for deliverance. When you come into the knowledge of desire for deliverance, here is when you begin to see a lot of your phenomena that previously you noticed arising and passing away. Now it stops. It ceases. That's why it's called cessation. But when it ceases, the dukkha that you feel earlier on also hilang, also disappear, at least for 1 second or 2 seconds. Then after that, everything goes again. Once it arises and passes away again, dukkha you feel again, anicca you feel again, anatta all again you feel. So during that time, you already have that dispassion. You already your mind already do not want to attach to all of those things. Now you see cessation coming up. You see a cessation that is coming up. You see that there is something that you can do to stop all this dukkha. Other words, maybe after that sitting or that walking, because of that experience that you may have during of that cessation, some yogis may have what we call the inferential insight. Inferential means after they see the true insight, they inferred back to their past. That means through the past, we go through all this samsara and arise, and we go through one after another. There is no stop. There's no peace. There's always dukkha. But right now, as we develop, then there is the cessation of dukkha. And it's interesting. That's why it's called the desire for deliverance, because you see an ending of dukkha. You see an ending of dukkha right now. And it's so precious. Although satu saat sahaja, 1 second only. But it's not a true cessation. It's not a true cessation like a nibbana. But it gave rise to that. It gave rise to that faith. It gives rise to that knowledge of desire for deliverance, because there is an ending of that. This one. Okay? There's an ending of it. Now, later part, when the yogi begin to practice further, it goes into the deeper insights and further into the practice and so on. Then when he comes into that so-called destructional cessation, the yogi also still able to see arising and passing away. That is much later, But the knowledge of equanimity, knowledge of desire for deliverance, you only see it stops. But later on, as you practice on, that stop, still there's arising and passing away. In other words, if you understand a bit of the Abhidhamma, then there's a little bit of bhavanga consciousness is still arising and passing away. That means it's still not completely a cessation. In other words, in that sense, then the mind is very much ready for enlightenment already, because everything in the sense that the mind can able to notice. But that one, we don't worry about that. What is important is that this destructional cessation. Now, when the yogi sees this arising and passing away again and again, then it comes into a stop. Then it arises and passes away, and it changes and it changes and again. Again here, a yogi must not interpret that this is Nibbana. You must not interpret that this is Nibbana. So many, not to say many, when yogis comes into around that side, they're bound to be the thinking that this is actual Nibbana itself. And we think that this is actual because we see some degree of cessation happening. So a yogi must not interpret that this is Nibbana. This is not, but you are on the way. But if you think that you are already Nibbana, then your whole vipassana stop already lah. Kau lah ma, sudah sampai ma. So, but don't. Just make sure you carry on. Now, this is the first thing. Don't interpret it too much. Secondly, don't become doubtful about it. Because some yogis become doubtful because they think that the meditation is gone something wrong. Previously everything keep on moving, arising, passing away. Suddenly, stop. Suddenly arising, passing, suddenly stop. So what happened to my practice, Bhante? How come it keep on like that one? Am I doing right or am I doing wrong? Again here, sometimes the yogi, I tell them, hey, keep on doing, you are doing it correctly. But when they start to meditate, the skeptical doubt will come up again. You see? Even they are in the right insight, but the skeptical doubt because they have not seen these things before. And if you don't have any other teacher to guide you, sometimes if you think that ho se liao lo, nobody can help you. But if you trust your mindfulness, if you really trust your mindfulness, then this is part of the development of insight. Even whether you are developed in the early part or later part, doesn't matter. As long as you keep noting it, it will keep on progressing. The third one, this cessation also, again, sometimes yogi must not interpret it as your mental faculties are going into imbalance now. Because previously when we talk about, and then in the past we talk about imbalance of faculties, when you say that over concentration, everything become blank. Now here things also become blank, but for 1 second only blank. Then you think that ho be ho se liao. Then my meditation, I think, is already over concentration already. Then that is also again wrong. Your faculties are at the tip-top condition, but that is where you interpret it wrongly. Condition. I mean, the over concentration has got its own characteristic. This one has its own characteristic. So don't overjudge, So sometimes I hear some yogis, they are doing it correctly. They are seeing cessation. They go and ask another yogi, another friend who think that they are more experienced. They ask him, they ask the person, and ask the person, and then the person say, "Oh, all wrong already. Oh, you are over concentration." And there's no such thing as cease like that. But again, yeah, again, it creates a lot of doubt when it comes into this cessation. Yeah. And this cessation, you're going to see it a lot as you progress even into the knowledge of equanimity. You're going to see some cessation also because you have seen it before. Then, when you go through all the triple liberation or you go and speed up fast because there's somewhere it's going to stop somewhere. And then after that, you're going to have your actual enlightenment, which is also a cessation. It's going to stop after that. Then after that, you come out from that nibbana, realize nibbana. Then also again, you're going through again, there's a lot of other cessation also. So now you got like let's say you got 1,000 cessation you're going to go through. So which one is your nibbana? Ma? It doesn't matter as long as you go along. As long as you pass through, it's perfectly all right. But anyway, you're going to know because that time, the concentration, the mindfulness is going to pick up it's going to pick up even much more stronger. You can feel it for yourself. And then the cessation that's going to happen, then more or less you're going to know. Or even if you pass through, you may not know. But after that, when it repeats again, all this enlightenment process, you're going to know all over again. So don't worry. Don't worry at the which point you touch the path and fruition. What is more important, you just pass through that path and fruition, then at least something has been done. Then later on, you feel like you come go and meditate, you want to see back what happened, then you can come back, no problem. Don't be impatient. Just practice through. If your mind is clear, you can able to see those things back after enlightenment. So no need to worry. So as I said, all these things as you go through these knowledges and all knowledge of insight, it's a very muddy area. Although we look at it from teaching wise, we put it one after another to make it clear. But actually, when you go through your insights, you do not know which is insight and which is that. You do not know which dukkha and all that. As I said, all you know what is all dukkha only. Even anatta come out in front of you, don't even realize that it's anatta that's happening. You thought that anicca is like that, but anicca totally can be another thing altogether. So that's why a lot of your concept that you never understood it before and what is really happening, it cannot match together all your theoretical understanding. So all your theoretical understanding, put it aside, just meditate and you will pass through. So cessation is like that. So next time, when you meditate, then suddenly something stopped. Don't worry, just carry on, aware that it is stopped. You acknowledge that stopped. Then after it carry on, it stop again, it carry on. Just carry on that meditation. But if it stopped too long, then you have to do something about it. Suddenly you meditate. Then everything becomes stop. That one is quite dangerous already because that time it can be your energy starts to drop or your sloth and torpor starts to take over. Everything also cease. And then cease already, then you wake up. Oh, Dhamma. Just now, everything disappear. Oh, when I wake up so clear. Because you just slept only. You just slept, you wake up, everything become clear. Nibbana liao. There are a number of people happen like that. So as I said, if it happen in such a way that there's no sudden stop, then you got to be careful in the sense that if it just gradually coming in, then everything disappear and it's disappear for a long period of time. That means 5 minutes, 10 minutes, that means considered long already inside there. That means you are not really doing, something is wrong already. But it's just a 1 or 2 second, doesn't matter. It's just a knowledge only, this one. It's knowledge of cessation only. But it's not, as I said, it's not Nibbana yet. So this is on the knowledge of cessation. What else? I didn't write anything because I do not know what to write. I know these two only. After that, what to write, I don't know. Here, relinquishment. All right. Number 7. One who develops the contemplation of relinquishment, patinisaka, abandons grasping. Here, there's many things that's happening inside here, relinquishment. Now, the knowledge of reflection or reobservation, when it comes to full maturity, it relinquish in the sense that when it relinquish, it goes into cessation, right? Just now, as I said, when it relinquish, it goes into cessation. So the word relinquishment is in that sense of giving up, or the word letting go, and then entering into. That means once you give up the arising and passing away, all the anicca, dukkha, anatta, all the mind and body processes that is going through, the mind totally detached from it, see nibbana, see cessation, then in a way that it launches itself into seeing, into cessation. It both come together. When it comes to the maturity of that knowledge of reflection or reobservation. Now, when it comes to the knowledge of equanimity of formation also, then the word giving up, it's even more clearer, much more clearer. Now, though sometimes when we use the word, okay, you hear a lot of talks on letting go this, letting go that. Yeah? You think that's all the letting go that you know only. Yeah? But the word letting go is go right on the doorstep of Nibbana. And that letting go is not letting go of your phone or your life and everything. It's not that. It's just that mind and the mental and physical processes. Letting go. Now, we use the word giving up and letting go in this knowledge of equanimity. We go back to the knowledge of equanimity again, which is, I gave it on here. All right. Mana, where you go? Here. No. Yes. Now, at the knowledge of equanimity towards all formations, that means at that moment of time, when your knowledge is strong and powerful, your mind is utterly, all the mental faculties is at a tip-top condition. When it says that this tip-top condition, this is equivalent to almost jhana already. Whereas when you do samatha meditation, when you gain the first samatha jhana, and you want to gain, just before you gain the samatha jhana, when everything becomes purified, your mind also is utterly, mentally, the faculties are totally imbalanced too. Are totally imbalanced. So they are very high. So too, when it comes into vipassana, also the same thing. So before that, after that, of course, later part is the enlightenment. Now, what is being trying to relinquish here at this knowledge, it abandons the dukkha and the delight, and every form of craving and every form of joy and every form of whatever it is. These two, it abandons every, that knowledge of equanimity, it relinquish all the delight in everything. So the word relinquish here is like previously, all the joy that you have, about your past, maybe in this life, it could be your what do you call that? Your happy memories. A lot of you may have happy memories. Yes, when it arises during at the knowledge of equanimity, that memory is just memory only. There's no desire, there's no delight into it, there's no anything about it. If you happen to see your worst enemy, most terrible person have done something to you and all that thing, at that time, there's no anger towards it. There's also no metta towards it also. Doesn't mean that no anger does you metta. No, it's just truly non-attached to all of these things. They are just phenomena only. They are just mental concepts only. If you hear something during in the practice at this stage, and you hear something like music arises, and those are then eating a song, and all coming out. Oh, you are so happy with all your memory, but it doesn't affect you in a single moment also at that moment, at that time. Nothing affect you at all. If at that time you meditate until your mosquito bite you, multiple mosquito bite you at that time. Here one mosquito already bite you, all your mindfulness, koya already. That time multiple mosquito bite you, you know that the sensation, you know it's painful, but the mind is totally not affected by the dukkha, by the pain, by that dukkha type of pain. Nothing's affect you at that time. So other words, does not mean that you relinquish, you giving up. That means there's nothing there. You relinquish all the desire, all the grasping for any concept or sankhara. Any concept also is being given up. Anything that is this one also is being given. Anything that is happening in the mind and body process at that moment is also give up. Is also give up. And that give up become very, very clear. So until you begin to see come into the knowledge of equanimity, then you do not truly understand what is the meaning of letting go yet. So it's deep. It's really deep, the word letting go or giving up. Then after that, number 2, entering into, that means when you come to the maturity of that knowledge of equanimity of formation, maturity here means it speeds up. Then when the knowledge of equanimity of formation, when it begins to speed up, that is where you begin, whether you're going to see as anicca, dukkha, anatta, triple liberation. Then when after that, immediately when you are matured, immediately entering into the real nibbana, seeing the real nibbana. Totally, you relinquish everything, mind, body processes, every concept, and you enter and you launch into nibbana. The realization of nibbana. That is what happened before a yogi going to enter into nibbana. Now, this is on the relinquishment. So in a way, as I said, although the words, when we go through those words, the relinquishment, cessation, dukkha, anatta, I mean, they are all just a shade different, a little bit different. I mean, it's not easy to understand this type of things. But nevertheless, this is for us to go and look into it. Now, let us go back to the chart again. So we stop. We're going to stop here at this relinquishment. Then we have 8, 9, and some of it, maybe I'm going to touch a little bit on others on Thursday. But what is important right now, I want to share with you all is that mana may keep on running one nowadays. All right. Hey, something wrong. Wait. Okay. Now, you see the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, begin from impermanence to relinquishment. Now, many times in the sutta, or sometimes talks also is being given, they're given for the first 7 instead of all the 18. Whereas in the first 7, it's also in a way it is complete in understanding of the mental development until Nibbana. It's a complete understanding also in that sense. So that's why a lot of times, I think also there may be in Sutta also, there's called the Satta Nupassana. Satta means 7, like Satta Bojjhanga. Satta Nupassana, 7 contemplations. So 7 contemplation, it falls under from impermanence to relinquishment. Now, some people say that, even in the text, it did mention is that the actual Nibbana, the actual Vipassana starts from Anicca Nupassana. Okay? Because, and therefore is the 4th insight knowledge. So it says that Vipassana, technically speaking, if you want to argue for the sake of argument, it starts from 4th insight knowledge until enlightenment takes place. Okay? From the 4th insight knowledge. Therefore, the 4th insight knowledge, it begins with Anicca Dukkha, Anicca Nupassana, which is the knowledge of arising and passing away. Now, if you don't know, then here. It starts from the 4th knowledge of arising and passing away. Anicca, there, Anicca come first. All right. But for me, if the yogi can start out, can meditate, and then got mind and matter, you can able to design mind and matter. What you know, I'm very happy that you can able to do that already. I don't have to wait until you come here, because if you keep on meditating, you will pass through this one. Only if you stop only, then of course you cannot do anything. Or as you get older, as you get all the kind of diseases coming in or came in already, and then of course you cannot meditate anymore, But as long as for me, you can able to start off with this knowledge of discern of mind and matter in practical form. It's really good already. It's really good. All you need to do, that means at that time you know the technique, how to walk, how to sit, at least how to note the object, although you may go through a lot of difficulty, but at least you know how to do already. So if you, as I said, technically speaking, it starts from the 4th, but in reality speaking, it starts from number 1. And that is really important for the yogi because it builds up the faith. Therefore, when it builds up the faith, you know how to come back for the retreat. Yeah? So here, usually they'll talk about the 1st to the 7, impermanence to relinquish, so on. Yeah? Now, again, in the beginning of this, not this talk, in beginning of this series of talk, in the first topic, first talk, I already mentioned that when you talk about this 18 contemplations, I will not talk on it like first insight, second insight in a progressive manner. Sometimes from this insight, it jumps to that insight, it jumps to here, jump there again, because this is different types of contemplation. That's one thing. Second thing is that when this contemplation again, even in the single insight, even in like a single insight, there's a different types of contemplation is happening inside there. Okay, just like, for example, when you talk about cessation or relinquishment, it can happen even in knowledge of equanimity, formation, in knowledge of desire for deliverance, and this and that also. It depending. So again, here, as I said, this thing, this understanding of 18 principal insights, they are not in the sense that they are progressive, like in the past, like we used to understand about the 16 insight knowledge. So this is for now. So the next talk we're going to cover upon the 8, 9, maybe 14. Maybe some of you not able to this one, then we go back to 16, 17. 17 also is the same thing, knowledge of reflection again. Then we talk about 18 also. Okay, so we stop here for tonight, and we're going to continue on Thursday. Okay, all right. Sometimes I forget to write on the Facebook about whether there's talk tonight or no. That means sometimes I forgot. I just forgot, like today, until 5 minutes before the Dhamma talk starts, only I post up something on the Facebook. Anyway, all right, okay, let's share merits.